ìbànújẹ́ mọ́ ni wọ́n ẹni tó ní kárí wa mú. ìbànújẹ́ mọ́ ni wọ́n ẹni tó ní kárí wa mú. bàbá yọ ọwọ́ ebi sọmọrí tẹ̀wé tàgbà ìṣẹ́kù fẹ́rẹ́fẹ́rẹ́. bàbá yọ ọwọ́ rẹ̀.
If you need
Home is close control. Home is will you miss us? Home is I don't know. Let's go to your place. Let's go to your place. Let's go to your place. Let's go to your place.
Shingo, Fidimir Shingo, Falamir Shingo, Lishino, Lavide, and Odysino, Garaka, Hideous, and the born, and the born, and the born of a family, and the born, and the born, and the born of a family. Vain in feta fullaman, vain in feta fullaman, and Hulan Buck, and the man of vain, and Cress, and I ding, the Matic Natity will see, and the born, and the born, and the born of a family, and the born, and the born of a family. I do shit up in the shaw, I do shit up in the shaw, I do shit up in the shaw, vain, and Cress, and I ding, the Matic Natity will see, and the born, and the born, and the born of a family, and the born, and the born, and the born of a family. Vain in feta fullaman, and vain in feta fullaman, and Hulan Buck, and the man of vain, and Cress, and I ding, the Matic Natity will see, and the born, and the born, and the born of a family, and the born, and the born, and the born of a family. I do shit up in the shaw, I do shit up in the shaw, I do shit up in the shaw, vain, and Cress, and I ding, the Matic Natity will see, and the born, and the born, and the born of a family, and the born, and the born, and the born of a family. Urstingo, Fidimi Urstingo, follow me Urstingo, Lishanol, Avahan and Lotus and Nol, Garaka, Hideous, and the born, and the born of a family, and the born, and the born of a family.
Johnny, my man, day you nae think or rising, the day it's far spent and the nicht's coming on. Your cellars are dean and your stoop steam afore ye. Rise up, my man Johnny, and come awa hame. Fa is that I hear speaking so kindly, I ken it's the voice of my ain wifey Jean. Come and be my dearie and sit down aside me. There's room in this tavern for mere forbies me. Johnny, my man, oor bairns is a greeting, nae meal and the bottle, tae feller we wives. While ye sit here drinking, ye leave me lamenting. Rise up, my man Johnny, and come awa hame. Do ye nae remember the first days we courted? On a bed o' primroses we both did sit down, a picking the flowers and each other's company. Ye ne'er thocht it long then, nor thocht to go hame. Weel day I mind on the days that ye mention, but those times they are past and they'll ne'er come again. Just think on the present and try to amend it. Rise up, my man Johnny, and come awa hame. Johnny raised up and he flung the door open. My curse on the tavern that first loot me in, my curse on the whisky that mucks me aye frusky. Say far the wheel whisky and I'm awa hame. Foolish young girl was I, to be courted be a student boy, although he be. He spak bred Scots when he come courting me. Another lass and yonder tune, he talks her and he sets her down. He talks that lassie upon his knee, and tells a tale that he ain't still to me. And when my apron reached my tay, he'd follow me far ere I'd gae, but now it scarce reaches to my shin. He'd pass the door, faith he'd never cryin'. I wished my baby it was born and setting on his daddy's knee, and I was deed and in my grave and green grass growing over me. I wished in vain. I wished I was a maid again, but a maid again I'll never be, till apples grow on an orange tree. The time has come, I can no longer tarry. This morning's tempest I must shortly brave, to cross the moors and high-towering mountains, until I'm in the arms of the one I love. And when he came to his true love's dwelling, he knelt down gently upon a stone and whispered softly into the window, does my own true love lie there alone? She's lifted her head from off her down white pillow. She's lifted the blankets from off her breast and raised herself up onto an elbow. Who's not disturbing me from my night rest? It's I, your own true lover. Oh, open the door, love, and let me in, for I am wet, love, and also wearied. For I am wet, love, into the skin. She raised herself up with the greatest of pleasure. She raised her up and she let him in. And all night long they rolled in each other's arms, until the long night was past and gone. And when the long night was past and over, and when the small cocks began to crow, he shook her hand, aye, they've kissed and parted. He saddled and mounted, and away did go.
Was anything ever said to me up to this time about any person being cut out of that photograph?
No, sir, I don't think anything was ever said to you about any person being cut out of that photograph. I now find, on inquiry of a member of the staff, that they saw some third person who was not recognizable and was not recognized standing to the side. That Mr. Stevens and Mr. Shine were facing each other and looking at each other. There was a third person standing to the side, and they thought that that person had no relevancy, had nothing to do with it, and that the picture wanted was the picture of Stevens and Shine.
Mr. Welch questions James Juliana, assistant to the McCarthy Committee.
Well, then the only thing to do was to bring in the photostat of the original picture with 3 people in the cast. Isn't that right?
I wasn't asked for it, and I didn't deliver that.
I think that's right. You were asked for something different from the thing that hung on Shine's wall.
I never knew what hung on Shine's wall.
You did know what hung on Shine's wall when that was handed to you, sir.
I did not know what hung on Shine's wall.
Did you think this came from a pixie? Where did you think this picture that I hold in my hand, which is Exhibit 3, came from?
I had no idea where it came from.
During the last year, he couldn't do the question will give you eventually.
Did you think it came from? I didn't get the rest of the
question. Question. Did you think this came from a pixie?
The counsel, for my benefit, define. I think he might be an expert on that.
Yes.
Well, pixie.
Yes. I should say, Mr. Senator, that a pixie is a close relative of a fairy. Shall I proceed, sir? Have I enlightened you?
As I said, I think you might be an authority on a picture, yes.
Counsel may proceed. Mr. Cohen, you have spoken of that picture as representing Mr. Stevens smiling at Shine. Do you look at it now with me?
Why don't we have a quote right up here?
That's good enough.
Let's even have a close of it.
Well, let's have it there. That's good enough.
Mr. Welch, may I confess to a slight case of nearsightedness here, and I hope that's not nearsightedness in connection with my duties, but it is when it comes to these things. I'd like to have that right up here.
I think you have betrayed some nearsightedness. Have it as close as you would like.
Very good. Mr. Welch, I might say here again, I'll be very glad to answer your questions here. I don't think I'm quite as clever as you are, and I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to answer your quips.
Oh, Mr. Cohen. My question now is this. You have referred to that picture as showing Mr. Secretary Stevens smiling at Dave Shine. Are you now close enough to the picture so that you would like to qualify that statement?
Sir, I will accept your characterization of the picture.
It's a grim smile on Stevens' face.
I accept it. If you want to call Mr. Stevens' smile a grim smile, sir, I fully accept